to my channel, Legal Jargon. I've dedicated my channel for discussing law-related concepts and other current affairs updates relevant for cracking judicial services exams and other competitive exams. I would also be discussing synopsis of important articles in the editorials of the Hindu and the Indian Express. Please like and subscribe my channel for further updates. In this session, I would be discussing the article Prisoners of Nationalism published in the May 17th editorial of the Indian Express, written by Christophe Jaffrelot. Christophe Jaffrelot is a Western political scientist. In this article, he is criticizing the Modi government failing to anticipate the second wave of COVID pandemic and the reasons behind the government not being able to prevent the second wave. The reasons, he states, are the concentration of power in the hands of few powerful men who were busy conducting and canvassing elections in West Bengal. The second reason, he states, is the centralization of power at the expense of federalism due to hyper-nationalism, where bureaucrats and rulers became prisoners of nationalism and weren't able to take wise decisions. He gives us a summary of the speech of Narendra Modi at the Davos meeting held this year. He covers three aspects of the speech of Narendra Modi. The first aspect which he focuses on is Narendra Modi saying at the Davos meeting that India has introduced 2 vaccines to the world and India is helping other countries developing infrastructure for successful vaccination and saving the lives of others in other countries. And Modi asserted that India has won the battle against COVID-19, where other countries are still struggling in the Davos meeting. Till March, he had stuck to this line. But the second wave began in February, and he failed to anticipate it even after establishing a National Scientific Task Force on COVID-19 formed in 2020. The second aspect of the Modi's speech which he focuses on is proud references from Hindu medicine. So throughout his speech at the Davos meeting, Modi is giving blind references to nationalism, Indian nationalism. The second aspect of Modi's speech is stating about Hindu medicine, the greatness of Hindu medicine like Ayurveda, and Union Health Minister Harshvardhan endorsing Coronil as an effective medicine against COVID-19. In February 2021, Baba Ramdev launched Coronil in the presence of Union Health Minister Harshvardhan, and it was certified. The Indian Medical Association objected to this and called Coronil a falsely fabricated and unscientific product, where it was launched without any time frame or timeline. The government has endorsed many pseudo remedies. It has supported clinical trial of medicine derived from Panchgavya cow's milk, butter, ghee, dung and urine. BJP leaders have claimed that sacred rituals like bathing in Ganges River helps in improving immunity. Another reason for the second wave to gain momentum is many pilgrims assembling at Haridwar in April for Kumbh Mela, and Modi sending a tweet to perform a symbolic Kumbh as saving lives was sacred. The third aspect of Modi's speech, which the author points out, is that Modi believing India to be the guide to the world fighting against the pandemic, thanks to its vaccines which it has produced. The health minister declares that unlike most countries, we have a steady supply of COVID-19 vaccines. The author says this is not true, and in India, vaccines have shown the lowest AEFI in the world. And still, in India too, we are struggling to cater to make vaccines catering to the population. Later, he goes on to state the twofold vaccine policy of the Modi government. India has become the first policy of the Modi government is that India has become a key player of UN-backed COVAX program, which is supposed to provide 2 billion doses to middle-income and low-income countries. The author describes the second point as the twofold vaccine policy of the Modi government. In Modi announcing in January that India would export its 2 vaccines free of cost to Mongolia, Oman, Myanmar, Philippines, Bahrain, Maldives, Mauritius, Bhutan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Seychelles as a goodwill gesture. From 4 months from the announcement, as a part of the Vaccine Maitri initiative, India exported 64.4 million doses of vaccines all over the world under the COVAX program, but only 120 million were vaccinated in India at that time. After the second wave took full effect, India had no other option but to stop its exports and accept aid from foreign countries. This reversed the role of India as a supplier of vaccines to the world, with that of the West helping India. India, according to the author, has to recover first economically for retrieving the status of an emerging country. India is a reliable partner to the US and Europe as it balances China in the Indo-Pacific region. But it has to retain its strategic autonomy. Now, India's situation is critical, and it has to make its rapprochement with the West. This is making things more complicated, as it will raise embarrassing questions. In the recently held EU-India summit, many issues were discussed, including climate change, trade, detained human rights, as well as connectivity in the Indo-Pacific region. The author, although India's efforts to distribute COVID-19 vaccines was appreciated in the summit, the mechanisms to promote human rights were still being questioned. The author says that India has still not respected human rights of human rights defenders and journalists in the Indian administered part of Kashmir. So there is an importance of strengthening mechanisms for the promotion of human rights. The author concludes by saying that hypernationalism sometimes boomerangs, and not only because of domestic mismanagement.